we are going back to chapter 2 of season 0. And welcome back, first of all. I hope you guys are having a great, awesome night or day. Are currently going to get back into where we left off. So let's go ahead and get back into it. Yeah, we were at a point where, like I was telling you guys, I'm gonna start off where we were moving over here. So, like, that's basically you could say where this whole journey begins. When I first moved out here, to the States. So, I back at home, I had the Sega Genesis and the regular Nintendo, not the Super Nintendo, because a lot of people grew up with the Super Nintendo. I had the Sega Genesis to be specific and the Nintendo, and I remember I had a couple games. Um, Definitely. Then afterwards, when we were in Mexico, I remember that my mom was able to give me the PlayStation 1. It's the slim model. And that PlayStation 1, I remember when I first got it, I got Harry Potter with it, some WWE games, and that's what I had, And then I moved over here, and I was only able to take my PlayStation 1, and that's what I had. And I remember most of my games went bad or I lost them. Somebody had stolen them from me, but that's a whole different story for another day. Somebody had taken them, so the only games that I had around that time, it was it was King of Fighters '99. Um, Pretty sure you guys heard of the franchise King of Fighters, very similar to Street Fighter. And I remember this is where I was telling you guys where during a Christmas, my dog, um, one of those Christmas, I remember my dog, she got mad at me, and I had gone to a Christmas party. So, of course, we left everything at home. And when I came back, that PlayStation 1 was done for. My dog had taken a restroom break on it, just to say the way, in a nice way. Yeah, she had taken a bathroom break on it where it was all full of liquid. And it was just the only thing that I had around that time. So afterwards, I didn't really have a console for a while. I remember, um, like, if I wanted to play something, I would have to go to my cousin's house. My cousins were pretty cool, but most of the time, um, like sometimes I would just enjoy watching them play. Okay, since I didn't have the opportunity to be like, hey, you know what? I have these consoles. Let me play it myself. I'd just be happy with just watching somebody play. This is before you had YouTube on cell phones. It wasn't a thing back then. It wasn't like you can access somebody playing a video game. If somebody was playing in front of you, that's the way you're gonna watch it. And I will watch my two cousins go at it again, each other. They were playing. That's when I had seen the PlayStation 2. Because the PlayStation 2 wasn't a thing when I was over there in Mexico. Um, it was more of a thing here in the States. So I remember seeing like right back back then it was the new King of Fighters. It was the King of Fighters 2000, 2001, and 2002. And I will always watch them play, and then whenever they give me a chance to play, I'll definitely be there. Since I didn't have the console, sometimes they'd be like, "All right, what's up? You trying to go at it around?" And I guess this is where the biggest learning lesson of this one's gonna be. since I didn't have the console around the time, I would take some beat downs, some ass beats. I'm just gonna flat out say some ass beats. Like they will not hold back, which is good. Which is good, which is actually you're supposed to play. At the end of the day, you're playing to have fun, but you're learning as like nobody likes to lose in a video game or in general in life. That's what's crazy. Like you got some people who get so mad they'll throw like a controller at a TV and break it. I've seen um people break their cell phones just before being mad, and I never try to get to that point because I remember when I used to lose during like I don't know why, but it always reminds me of this when I used to like lose really bad on a fighting game that I really love, but I couldn't really like get good at it because I didn't have the game. Um, it just made me wanna keep pushing. I was like, you know what? I might not have the game, but I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. And we were playing Mortal Kombat. That's when you had my introduction to Mortal Kombat. Um, but the biggest thing was the PS2 around that time. The GameCube was still a thing, but everybody when it came to playing together, I guess where would go to, it was more of the PS2 thing, and Street Fighter will always be there. Um, and games that like I didn't have at home. So that's one of the things, you would lose, 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 and lose. And it reminds me of life, because like sometimes you would like, there's gonna be days where you're like, damn, like, why am I just getting taking L's left and right, But when that happens is because life is trying to teach you something. That's the way I put it. Life is putting you on this road where it's teaching you something where, you might not realize it there and then, but if you want to get better at something, you want to do good, you gotta be willing to take them L's. The easier for you to take the L is for you to learn whatever you're trying to achieve. So if you're trying to really, really, really get good at a video game, I mean, don't expect to be the best at the very beginning. If you are, good for you. That's called talent. But not everybody has that talent. Not everybody has that, like, hell yeah, I'm the best at it right away type thing. And even if you're the best at it, you're eventually going to come into a roadblock where you're definitely going to see, like, okay, you know what? I definitely need to learn from this experience. And I guess fighting games really did that for me. Learning and like learning to be patient, learning how to you know what mistake did I do that I could do better next time in a fight. So situations like that. I remember I also got like a since I didn't have a PlayStation anymore. My mom was able to get us a Game Boy Advance because that was the thing, that was just a thing now. So the Game Boy Advance had came out, and I didn't have a console. So I remember my mom, she had gotten me for the first time. She had gotten me the Game Boy Advance, and I was so excited. And let me tell you, when that thing didn't last me about a month, and I feel terrible because I remember how it broke. Me and my cousin and my sister were fighting over the Game Boy because it was so good. I would like, everybody wanted to play it. I think we had Mario Advance 3, and I remember my cousin. she got so excited, like, all right, whoever got in the car first gets to play it first, you know. And I was like, all right, bet. So we started running to the car. They opened the back, you know, because we had gotten groceries that day, and we opened the back of the car, and they didn't purposely open the car doors. So my cousin decided to go through the back and literally puts her hand and her weight on the Game Boy, and it like crushed it. Like it was done. The screen was done. And I wasn't really mad about it because at the end of the day we were all excited. We were all wanting to play it, so it was like, you know what? I can't be mad. I would have maybe done the same thing because I was just as trying to get it to it as she was. So that was me out of a whole gaming system for a long time again. Um, and that's when that story come in where, you know, I started working and I got the pack of gum, and that that helped me started like learning, you know, because then I come back to the GameStop story. Like I took another L because I had sold you know, I did good at selling my candy, and then I went to GameStop and I sold my favorite game for what, $5, $10, and then the game that I got afterwards was so bad that I'm like, no. And then, you know, go sometimes you go back and look at these games that you sell, and they're like crazy expensive now. For example, you got like Def Jam. Shout out if you ever played Def Jam, you're a real one. Um, Expensive games like Fatal Frame's now expensive, which they're now making a remake or like a remastered. By the way, if you haven't played Fatal Frame, I definitely suggest you check that out. Um, and but you know, you like what I'm trying to say is you definitely got into a point where you sold something and then you regret it. You're like, damn, that was not that. You know, that's another L you gotta take. But and that's what I'm trying to say. You learn from these, and that's what I learned from fighting games. Fighting games definitely, and video games as a whole, taught me how to be patient, learn from my mistakes, learn from losing, and what I shouldn't do next time. And you know, patience is really important because when you have patience, sometimes you'll be able to recognize more where you messed up, right? So now you we come into this area where you start growing up, you start growing, you know, and you start wanting to do like, hey, so what do you want to do? What do I want to do in my life? And one thing I always want to do is for sure never sell my games to GameStop ever again. And how can I earn money and with the things that I love? So that's when I started to get into like buy, trading, and selling, and I started doing that after that whole WWE game. You know, it's not something that just happened overnight because it's not like, you know, me like little by little, you know, you got one game, you don't want it, you sell it for a good price, and then or you get somebody else who wants the game, and then they got a game that you want, and then you trade it. Uh, but definitely this is something for one of those people that, you know, for those people that are right now that are struggling right now, because like maybe right now you feel like you might be taking L's left and right, or you're losing, or you feel like you suck. Nah, man, it's not that you suck, man. It's like straight up. You need to get that out of your head. It's never been a situation where like anybody's any like better than somebody at something. It's either what you wanna do, you gotta put time into, you gotta put effort, you gotta be willing to cry, suffer a little bit, and learn to have fun. And that's another one too. Learn to have fun because if you're not having fun, I think I was watching today, reels, right? And then there was one where Dana White showed up, and there was, hey Dana White, so what is something you recommend for these for the people right now that are watching you? What's some life advice you could give them? And he was like, one good point that he said, he was like, if you're not happy and you're broke right now, then you gotta do something about that. Because when you do have money and you it's not gonna make it a difference, you know. So you gotta be willing to make a difference now. That if you feel like you're broke or broken, that's gonna definitely push you to doing better. So, and no, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I had situations where I feel like I had more else, you know. Like, I remember one time I wanted to be a rapper, and I was like, yeah, rapping, yeah, dude. And then, I didn't push it, but then another thing is like, you got people who tear you down. You're like, nah, dude, you're like, no, you're not even that good. And I kind of let that get to me. And afterwards, I was like, I'm gonna stop rapping. But that's the thing, that's what I'm trying to tell you. If you like something, you gotta be willing to take the L's. Just think about it. Not everybody made it with an easy road. Like, success doesn't come just by saying, yeah, you know what, I'm here, I'm gonna take it, and let's go. It might seem like that once you do make it, but the little stepping stones that you do take do count a lot because those little things that you do towards making your goals is very important that to the person's gonna build you. And now I have a lot of plans in the future. I might not be as young as I used to. I'm a 30-year-old man or 35 or I could be 25 or 18. But it doesn't matter what age you are, man. It doesn't matter what age you are. What matters is that you got that drive that you're gonna do it. Like, including me trying to make this video right now. Like, do I really want to make the video? Yes. Do I have the energy to make the video? Maybe not. But do I have to push it to make it, to do something, to not even if you make it, but just doing it to to be a stepping stone to what you want to be, to what you want to do. And if you fail, it's okay. You get right back up. It's like boxing too. That's why another thing that I like is boxing. You guys talk to me about boxing on the comments. I'll tell you about boxing. I'll talk to you guys about boxing. I love fighting games. I love life. But it's one little thing that I wanted to share before we start talking about more fun things. And the fun things are coming. But definitely, if you guys feel like you want to share something within the comments, let me know. And just get ready for chap for episode 3. It's episode 3 of chapter 0 because this is just the beginning. So, like, subscribe, and If you have any something cool you want to talk about or something you're working on and you are been working on for a while, write on the comments below. And then we could talk about it. And then you might be surprised. You might have somebody that might be trying to do the same thing you are. So you might earn some connections. So like I said, never doubt your passion and what's pushing you and what makes you happy is very important. Take care.
Pizza.
What's it called? What's the name of it?
Hat.
This pizza.
Pizza, daddy-o. How you know it? Pizza, daddy-o. Cause he told me. Pizza, daddy-o. Hey. We got Mr. Planet Universe, Mr. Samuel, and Mr. Jesus, and Mr. Me, yeah. We just feeding our homies, and we seeing the ones that betrayed us.
Yo, I'm Mr. Planet Universe. Let me stand up. Let me show you what I got. I'ma have some pizza to give out to you guys, cause I fucking love you guys. But what they does I say, you gotta share with everyone else in the planet. You gotta care about everyone. If you just shooting each other, that's not fucking good. What the hell is going on wrong with you? Don't be evil. Step up to your friends though. Yo, and someone's trying to take over. Be like, hell nah, I'ma fucking step up to the plate. I'ma have to square up. Give it all I got. Fucking punch my way out. I'ma have to kick all these fucking things. And one thing I would say, I was scared before. But these things that I was just going through in my fucking brain. Stop being so scared. I ain't no fucking bitch. Gotta stop being a little pussy for once. Have to square up. Have to look up to the sky where I wanna be in my fucking life. And I said, nah, let's fucking do it. I'm not gonna give up easy. I'ma fucking do it from my fucking heart. And for everyone that's looking out, hell yeah, I just love you all.
Oh, you're the next one. Love you
I don't know
all.
I don't know if you can be heard.
You want